What's up, guys, and welcome to my review for The Last of Us. So instead of doing two separate reviews, I'm going to do a spoiler-free part of the video and then a spoiler section. So I guess let's just jump right into the spoiler-free section. I'm going to talk first about the casting and like the characters and what I think. How Pedro Pascal, Bella Ramsey, everyone did. First off, I thought they were amazing. Now, Pedro Pascal, uh, he really, he's the one featured more of the two main characters. Obviously, most of the episode is just on him, and mainly so, I loved his portrayal of Joel. I don't think it replaces Troy Baker as Joel, but I think I think it's more equal. I don't think he's better, I think it's equal. They're different portrayals of the same character. Now, Bella Ramsey. For what we saw, I enjoyed her. Now, is it the same case about Ashley versus Bella if, they're equal to? I mean, I enjoyed her performance, but I don't think I got enough of her performance to tell. I think very much she did seem Ellie-like, but I really can't tell if I prefer Ashley's version or Bella's. I will have to wait till at least we get a few more episodes in. Now, some smaller characters that we see is Tess and Robert. Now, it's a bit different, and we don't actually see Robert as well. Actually, I think we maybe the same amount, but it changed up. Now, pretty big part of this episode was day one and outbreak day, and of course they did change the time to be 2003 instead of 2013, so they can have present day of the show takes place actually in 2023, of course, our year. So you know that was a change, and I thought it wasn't really a big change. Of course, now instead we don't get that scene with Sarah look around the house and see the text. Of course, we don't see that because those phones weren't like that in it. So, of course, that would change. But overall, felt pretty good. Now let's get into the spoiler part of this episode. So, it starts off during the 1960s. 1968, I believe. I just watched it a few minutes ago, so I'm pretty sure it was 1960. But, anyways, so pretty much, they're talking about the viruses, and then this one guy brings up fungus, and how, now they were talking about something about if they thought, about the danger of viruses, and this one guy's like, we've been dealing with them for ever, but fungus can change you. And basically that's the discussion until, well, then it jumps to 2003, which I'm fine with showing like showing how this had been a discussion since the 1960s, so I think that's fine. But anyways, we pick up with Sarah as she wakes up, goes to wake up Joel, of course her dad, and then she makes breakfast for Joel on his birthday. They have they have some banter, and then Joel's like, "Is there any left for Tommy?" And then she's like, "There would have been." Tommy shows up. They continue talking. They talk about Joel's construction job. On Tommy's job, and then they leave, but they had to take Sarah to school, so she quickly grabs some money and a watch as she leaves. Then we see a few scenes at school with this other student with like a hand that's sort of like fidget, like sort of twitching, and that kind of gives a hint of something's happening. Of course, something is happening, but anyways, after school she goes to this like buy, sell, and repair shop with the watch, and basically only $20 for the watch to be fixed. But as the guy fixed it, this girl comes from the back and like tells Sarah, "Yep, we're closed for the day. You have to go. You can't finish." But the guy like, "Already finished it." Hands Sarah the watch in this box, and then she leaves. The girl would like go home, and like it's obvious something's going on. And since it's 2003, she can't just check social media like what's going on. So she goes over to their neighbors, which they did change the name. The Coopers in the game, I believe. Well, it's not really confirmed that they're their full-on neighbors, but it just, I assume like that it was, but but we get a little bit more. We also get a reference to the second game with Curtis and Viper 2, I believe it's called. I know it's something Viper 2. I think it's like Curtis and Viper 2. Sarah's like, "Hey, can I borrow this?" And then she leaves. But we get this older girl that like she was like really not just twitching, but like going like her head up, mouth like open, like really seeming like she's also infection. Of course, they don't know that yet. And Sarah to distracted, being like grabbing Curtis and Viper too, and like, "Okay, come out of this." Put in her bag, also some cookies that they made, and then she leaves. Everything seemed to be back to normal, but as she leaves, goes home. Hours later, Joel gets back. He was supposed to pick up cake, and he forgot. and he's like, I'll do it tomorrow. She's like, promise her you're not getting your gift. It's like, you got me a gift? He's like, promise. He's like, yeah, I promise. Well, he's like, I'll get it tomorrow. Then she, like, promise. But anyway, she hands him the watch, and of course we get the scene. Where'd you get the money for this? Drugs. I sell hardcore drugs. But what she took some of Joel's money. I'm guessing because that's also where the watch was. But anyways, oh yeah, she also like pulls out curtain drive for two, like pen. The watches and Sarah falls asleep. Then Joel gets a call from Tommy saying that he's in jail and needs Joel to bail him out. And since it's Friday, if Joel doesn't bail him out, he'll be in there until Monday. So Joel quickly puts Sarah to bed, and then he goes to get Tommy. Then there's like this explosion that wakes her up. She basically goes look for Joel. Can't find him. So she goes to the she walks outside, see like sort of like mini explosion thing. I'm not really sure what it was. It looked kind of like if a light like exploded and went out. It was like a green light type thing. At least from Mark Rock. I only watched this once. So, but anyways, she sees the neighbor's dog. She like tried to get the dog to go back in, but then the leash or the collar like rips off and the dog runs off. Then she noticed the neighbor's door is like open, so she goes inside, sees this guy like with he got bit in the neck. Like the camera reveals like a trail of blood up them, and then we see the older woman like attacking and like biting the nurse neck, but then it slowly like looks up and starts running after Sarah. So Sarah runs out of there, and Joel and Tommy pulls up, and like Joel's like, get in the truck now, or whatever he says. I can't remember exactly what he says. We like, get in the truck now, something like that. Joel and Tommy are both like, they both get out of the truck. Tommy's holding this sniper rifle, obviously a reference to like part 2, even though so he had his own gun in the TV series, which is different because of course Joel had the gun, had to give it to Tommy, but Joel's holding this crowbar, and as the woman gets closer, Joel walks over to Sarah. She's like, you killed her. And they get in the truck. We have similar dialogue. They literally have to go off road because it's like everyone had the same idea, so they decide to try and make it to the highway, but military's all there, so they leave. They go to like in the town, and there's actually a reference to the game because it doesn't happen exactly the way it does in the game. there's this car that, like this truck that pulls up, barely stop in time for them to keep going. But what does make them crash is this airplane that crashes, and a piece of it goes and hits the Tommy truck. I'm thinking it's Joel truck in this version because, of course, Joel had to go pick up Tommy, but Tommy's the one driving, so I don't know. But it hits the truck, makes them crash. Joel like making sure Sarah's okay and stuff, and then we see him trying to get her out. Now Joel and Tom get separated on the other side of the truck because the way they crash with this other vehicle, and like it's on fire. At least I'm pretty sure they crashed with another vehicle. It looks like, but it's on fire. Go around. Tommy told Joel to go, so he like asked her, "Can you run?" She's like, "No." So he picks her up, start taking her. But then there's just all these infected eating people, and then one just like looks up, which is in the trailer, and Joel, still holding Sarah, runs into this building, kicking open the door, and like starting to run through this like diner as this infected like jumping and running, and I'm like, well, okay, so the runner like runs and falls as like bumps into this thing, then it like over like a table, like, you know, like that, where part of it's like, you know, it's like Glory like climbs brick, goes and like jumps off, fall, and then they're able to make outside, and then the soldier shoots the infected. Like Joel like looks back, see that's dead, and then the soldier like, don't move, like stay right there. Like it's like it's her ankle, because instead of being like they like, well, say like her ankle. So the soldier like, hey, I got 2 civilians, and but I'm pretty sure, I guess by river or something, they call it the river or something. We don't hear, of course, obvious. We still don't hear what the, but like, well, the soldier like, yeah, or like her ankle. One of them's injured, their ankle. Like, he just like, yes sir, yes sir. And then he points the gun at Joel and Sarah, and like, Joel like, we're not sick. And pretty much the soldier, you know, still shoots at them. So Joel like tried to run, like, but obviously falls in her hand, and then the soldier comes up, but then Tommy with his sniper rifle shoots the soldier, and like Joel was great like on his side. He like lifts up his shirt and sees that grades, but then like Joel, like after seeing that Sarah was shot, rushes over to her and like, hey, move your hand, dude. I know it hurts, I know it hurts. Like, basically similar dialogue, it might be changed a little bit. But he's like, I need you up. Like, she's in pain, like, obviously. Like, and I think the actress, which is a bit older than Sarah is in the game, I don't know if they basically kept the character the same. They only confirm or deny the age of Sarah in this, so she could be a bit older, same age, but it's like, like, the actress sells it, but then, like, Joel's like, Tommy, help me, and then Tommy just, like, into like, Joel. Joel looks down to see her dead. And then there's this like opening sequence which is like shows like fungus, like the way it kinda looks like without it kinda looks like if like it was infecting the earth, like with the way it was moving. But it doesn't show like it looks similar to that, like if it was infected the world, like just going from all these spots and branching out and stuff. Overall, I thought it was pretty good. Uh, opening sequence. Then we cut 20 years later, which we see this kid that was outside of the Boston quarantine, though, walking alone, and then the kid collapsed, and these soldiers see them and brings them inside, and then she was infected, and they use a shot and kill it. And then we we catch up with Joel, who is well, basically they do jobs for. It wasn't really a smuggle job. I'm pretty sure it was, assigned. Well, you can like do jobs. I don't think it wasn't really a smuggle job, but they were clearing out bodies. And Tess, don't know who. I know Tommy was played by I can't remember the name, but good. He was also in some other stuff. This is the first thing I actually see him in. I only know where he's the first two. But anyways, Tess is like I can't. After she sees a kid that was killed, so Joel picks up the kid and throws the kid into the fire, and basically then they receive the ration cards, and on their way we do see some scenes of Ellie, like handcuffed, like chained. Like there was a shot in the trailer of like chained by her leg and stuff, which she handcuffed like here, but it's like a long chain, and like she's not so she's chained up by the fireflies, but she doesn't, at least it seemed like she doesn't know Marlene, but throw a hint at her knowing Riley, like she called the firefly the terrorist. That's like, why was a bunch of terrorists dropping me off with the fireflies? And pretty much Marlene like, because you would have been safest until you decided to sneak out, and was Riley a terrorist? And then Ellie just goes silent for like a few seconds before she's like, why won't you let me go home? And Marlene like basically said that she's like special and stuff. There's also about like also talk about No, I'm trying to make sure I get. I don't know if that comes. But like the the discuss about leaving. Well, not Ellie and but uh Marlene and this other Firefly discuss about them, like they need to get the military distracted so they can get all the Fireflies to that one building, and they're going to be leaving. But because well, Ellie's immune, obviously, but pretty much. But back to Joel and Tess. Tess was attacked just like in the game, but she's like, let's just put this behind us. I want to just go home and drink until my face stops hurting. That's pretty much what she said. So they or actually no. Well, I'm assuming Firefly blew up a truck right next to the wall, and it blew like a hole in the wall. So Tess leaves, but like she's like, "You're shooting at us. I'm not a Firefly," but the soldiers, because like, so there's a sniper on the roof that's shooting like at the Fireflies or at the soldiers, but basically the soldiers knock Tess to the ground and handcuff her. She's like, "I'm not a Firefly." So Joel. Now, what's different from Joel and Tommy still somewhat keep in contact through this radio tower, and there's been no contact for 3 weeks from Tommy, so Joel's starting to get worried, and it's like, well, so he's like, where? Like, he has a map, he's like, where? So basically this guy's like, marked down where, then Joel just leaves. They were supposed to get a battery from Robert, but well, okay, they get intel of where Robert's supposed to be, and turns out it's the Firefly base where Ellie was being captive. But anyways, they get inside and see that Robert is dead, and the battery that he was trying to sell them and the Fireflies was fake, and he got shot in the head. And then Joel like looks around, sees the two. We'll see Marlene and the other Firefly that she was talking to. Marlene got shot in the side. The other one got like literally like got shot here, and whole ear just gone. But Joel like sort of walks out as Ellie opens the door and tries to attack. Joel just goes like throws her against the wall and points the gun to her. And also, like, after Ellie tried to reach for a knife, Joel steps on it. And Joel is like pointing the gun at Marlene. But one time he would point it at Ellie, and then Marlene's like, not her, me. Which it's just great to see the actress from the game play Marlene again. But anyways, Marlene's like, yeah, I need the battery a lot more than you do. because, like, wow, he must be really desperate. Well, Tess was like, wow, you must be really desperate to, like, work from, or, like, buy from Robert. And she's like, yeah, and I need that battery a lot more than you do. So, like, basically, like, since I have no crew, no nothing, I suppose you're gonna have to smuggle Ellie to, I think they, I mean, in the game at the Capitol building, they called it something, this, like, state building or something, I believe they called it in the show, but, like, again, like, Ellie, like, I'm not going with them, and, Joel said something, can't remember exactly, but anyways, Joel looks back at Tess, she's like, so, Joel, with his foot, slides, Joel, or Ellie's pocket knife over to, Tess, and walks over, and, like, Joel's like, wait that, and like, she seemed pretty desperate. She, blah, 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 can't remember everything, so I can't remember everything, but, like, Marlene, like, yeah, you guys discuss how, but, you know, I am bleeding out here. So they decide to take the job, and because Marlene offered not just like the battery, the like entire thing, the truck, guns, ammo, all of it, because of course Joel is trying to find his brother that hadn't kept in contact for the last 3 weeks. So, and this is off because he normally like only if anything would miss a day. But anyway, so they go back to Joel. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention, it does actually make it more clear that Joel and Tess might be more than just friends, because Larry, so Joel, like, drink, pass out. Later on, Tess comes in and then lay down next to him and, like, sort of puts her arm around him. And they don't really state that they're there, but it's more clear than in the game, which in the game there was already that subtext there, so it's possible they're just making it a bit more clear. But anyways, so they take Ellie back to the apartment. Tess wants to go do something, and they mention Bill and Frank, so it's clear that even though Frank's dead, it seems like he's still alive. Ellie's like, who's Bill and Frank? And like, she found this book with like with a paper saying basically these codes, 70s music or 80s music, I can't remember what, or I'm trying to remember, I think 70 or 70 music was something new, like they got something new. Can't remember what I assume it's 60s music, and 80s music with like, don't know, but it's clear that it's like something's wrong. That's what it seems like, at least. And they like code message through this radio. But anyways, Tess. Well, okay, Joel laid down on the couch. Ellie's like, "What are you doing?" Joel like, "Killing time." Ellie's like, "What am I supposed to do?" And then Joel's like, "I'm sure you'll figure that out." Exact line. But so Ellie grabs the book that had the codes on, takes over a chair, and then like Joel wakes up and then Ellie says the same line. You mumble in your sleep or whatever it was like. And then a line that Tess says in the game, Joel says like, "Are you some bigwig daughter or something?" And then Ellie's like, something like that. I can't remember the exact line, but it's something close to that. Tess returns. They head out. They make it outside the wall. And like, I was like, she said a different word, but it's like, I'm outside. And then as the light starts moving over, Tess like sort of grabs her. I'm pretty sure Tess like, and then I was like, oh yes, sorry. So they sneak around through this guard that they're trying to get past, and then but he sees them like, hey, and then you gotta be kidding me, because okay, so this soldier, that's only one soldier. This thing come up that it was normally 3, but bought drugs from Joel, and he was like, hey, keep off the street. Keep off the street for the next few nights. With Firefly, everything could, with the Firefly going, a mistake could happen at night. And then basically he's like, like basically leaving the quarantine zone without permission. So he basically checks and see if they're infected. Like this entire time, Tess. Well, he was like, you could get hanged for that. Tess and Joel were trying to like, look, you can get half off. He's like, half off, all off, like on their deals. But then Ellie is like, because she knows they're checking for infection, so she like keeps one hand here because like this, and sort of like reaches in and pulls out her knife, which would be right. And as soon as he puts it there, she stabs him in the leg, like, and he like points the gun at Ellie, like he's like, Joel, move. And but then we see like a flash of like Sarah, like same scene like with the soldier holding them at gunpoint, and then Joel just loses it. He charges the soldier, knocks him to the ground, and just starts beating him. And then Tessa's like, look, we have to go. Joel. Joel stops, looks at Ellie, and then Tessa's like, Joel, we have to go. They'll be here. Yeah. So Joel grabs the the soldier gun, and then they leave and it like pans up, it's raining, to show like the two buildings like that. You know, like obviously same from the game and trailer. But anyways, it was so good. Well, and music, and we get like a shot back in Joel's apartment where music played. I'm not sure if it was the 80s, what decade song it was, but I'm assuming it's also like emergency, I assume. But anyways, very good first episode. I'll be doing these weekly, and I'm going to like start up my reaction channel again with The Last of Us trailers, because they did release well, it's not the end of the episode, but I didn't really watch it yet. But it's like episode 2 stuff. So yeah, I'll do I think I'll keep it mainly the same schedule. I don't know. I'll figure out my schedule for that. So actually, I don't know if I'll have like a episode 2 trailer reaction. I know by a third one I'll probably figure out what I'm going to do. But anyways, that's all for today's video, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out.